Thank you, Jim. Well, after Rangers, it's bring on Celtic for Hibs, who keep the side that performed so admirably at Ibrox last week. So record signing, Oldies de la Cruz is again on the bench. It would have been harsh, really, for Alex McLeish to drop anyone. They all did their bit. Paul Fenwick is 32 today, but with Larson and Sutton to contend with, it may not be a happy birthday. Alan Smart, on loan from Watford, is one of 3 strikers on the bench. Well, Celtic make 3 changes in the side, given a bit of a footballing lesson by Ajax midweek. One of them is forced after big Belgian Jos Valharen had a knee operation. Olivier Tebeli comes in for him, and there are starts also for Alan Thompson and Lubomir Moravcik, with Steve Guppy and Jackie McNamara making way. There's no place to fit again Stilian Petrov or Bobo Balda, but they'll figure in the team soon. Didier Agat, of course, is up against his former club.
Yeah, hardly surprising, Ian, that Alex McLeish has gone with the same 11 after what was a terrific performance in Glasgow last weekend. So that means it's a back 3 of Fenwick, Frank Soze and Ulrik Larsson. Larsson played wing-back for most of last season, but looked very comfortable in beside Soze last week. Soze himself, I thought, was terrific, and we all know what he can do on the ball, but defensively I thought he was terrific last week. Was prepared to step forward and make a challenge anytime he had to commit himself. And any time Hibs were caught in the wide areas, he was the man closing down the front post and making the clearing header. And it's going to be a good test this afternoon. Celtic supporters, I'm sure, will be delighted to see Chris Sutton back up front partnering Henrik Larsson. And once again, Hibs were well served at Ibrox by their midfield 5. Alan Orman treated us to an early candidate for goal of the season. But with Matthias Jack anchoring, I thought Grant Brebner and John O'Neill were superb. And not just in the protection they gave their back 3, but their ability to get from box to box and support the front 2, that really made all the difference. Young Murray, I think, is going to have a handful today with Didier Agat given the job of getting to the byline on the right-hand side for Celtic. And likewise, I don't think Hibs can afford to stand off Alan Thompson, so good is the quality of his final ball. Lennon and Lambert holding as usual, and that should allow Lubomir Moravcik to find a bit of freedom between middle and front. Further forward, same striking partnership for Hibs of Craig Brewster and young Tom McManus. And Brewster, again, I was very impressed by last week at Ibrox. Gives him a good target now that Miksu Patalainen has moved on. But more than that, he has a very good touch, takes the ball in well. And with McManus running off him, that Celtic back 3 are going to be worked.
Well, these 2 teams played the best football in Scotland last season. They enthralled us, they excited us, they entertained us. And both look more than capable of doing exactly the same again. It's a beautiful sunny evening in Edinburgh, although I have to say for most of the day in the Scottish capital it's been absolutely bucketing down with rain, but fortunately that's gone away in time for kick-off. Hibs proved at Ibrox last week that they are ready to mix it with the big boys of Glasgow again. Celtic were played off the park by Ajax on Wednesday in a very large way, but don't panic. Remember, they had done a pretty decent job in the first leg in Amsterdam. Those 2 young boys eagerly awaiting the arrival of the 2 teams from the hugely impressive new main stand, which was completed in the summer at Easter Road. Hibs are in the colour purple today, their new away kit. Celtic also wearing their new away kit. Well, Didier Agat's sensational start to last season with Hibs booked him a ticket to Glasgow. He was actually sent off here in May, so we'll be out to silence the Boo Boys this time. But Frank is waiting for him. 35 years of age now, but still a class act and very much a vital member of this Hibs team, as Davey was saying. Kenny Clark refereed the Scottish Cup final between these 2 teams in May. He's off to do an under-21 international next week in, of all places, Macedonia. Lucky man. Alex McLeish has taken Hibs into Europe. They will meet AK Athens in the UEFA Cup. And behind him there, the new stand, which has been completed here. Before kick-off, though, there will be a minute's silence in memory of Bobby Johnston, part of the famous 5 forward line of the 50s at Hibs. Five have had a stand named after them here at Easter Road. Bobby Johnston was part of that famous 5. He also scored in successive FA Cup finals for Manchester City. It's technically a green and white night at Easter Road, but not so you'd notice really, as far as the 2 kits are concerned. Both clubs taking the opportunity to launch their away kits this evening. So Hibs in purple, Celtic in bright white. Hibs were the only team to take a point at Celtic Park last season when it mattered, i.e. before the title was won, but in the month of May they were twice turned over by Celtic, 5-2 here in a really bizarre league game, and 3-0 in the Scottish Cup final. So some scores to settle for the Hibs. The Edinburgh Festival is on at the moment, but it's a festival of football that tops the bill tonight in the Scottish capital, and Hibs going for it straight away with Ian Murray trying to get in, and he might just get the better of Didier Agat. Brewster! Not really that much on it though, but a flying start from Hibs.
Well, it has to go down as a chance in. Didier Agat did well to work back goal side, ended up just getting turned on the edge of the box, and when it broke here for Brewster, that has to go down as a half chance.
Craig Brewster back in Scotland after 5 years with Ionikis of Greece, and of course he'll have some inside knowledge, I'm sure, about AK Athens, Hibernian's UEFA Cup opponents. In fact, he nearly ended up playing for them. Turned down a move to Athens. Miyabi challenging Brewster. This is Bretner. McManus, who scored at Ibrox last week. In fact, he's got 2 in his last 2 games.
Yeah, he did it also well at Ibrox before Alec took him off late in the game. He's very, very mobile and more than willing to go in behind. And as we saw, not a bad finisher as well if he gets a sight of goal.
Alan Ormond scored a screamer in that 2-2 draw at Ibrox last week. He's actually playing in the right wing position that will normally be occupied by overseas De La Cruz. Henrik Larsson is charging away for Celtic. Didier Agat is going to arrive on the scene, booed by the Hibs fans. Now they jeer him, but they used to cheer him. Here's Neil Lennon. Tom Boyd, who was man of the match for some against Ajax in midweek. Not that there were that many to choose from, it must be said. Celtic with the tantalising prospect of facing Juventus in the Champions League. First time they've taken part in that illustrious competition. Ulrik Larsson, the Great Dane, who was linked with a move to both Old Firm clubs in the summer. Paul Lambert. That won't cause Hibs too many problems though. Larsson gives it back to Nick Colgan, who's on the fringe of the Republic of Ireland international squad, and rightly so. He was outstanding last season. Lennon of Northern Ireland. Sutton back up front, having played the last 2 league games in defence. Matthias Jack, a big burly German. John O'Neill, surprisingly left out of the Scotland squad. McManus. And the Oldies sticking to him. Ian Murray, one of Hibs' talented youngsters, although he was actually on Dundee United's books as a schoolboy. Now Brewster, comfortably cut out though by the giant Swede Johan Mjällby. Sutton and Larson, an intriguing battle that could be. Larson and Alan Allman came sliding in with venom.
Just as well Henrik Larsson saw it coming here, and he's up off the ground here. And just in time there.
Larsson has of course scored twice against Hibs in the Scottish Cup final in May. And he's gunning for them again. Tom Boyd with a free kick towards Sutton. Larsson was very close to him. Neil Lennon. Moravcik. Olivier Tebeli called upon again in the absence of Jos Valharen, who's had a knee operation. Didier Gap trying to get to him, and he's rather cleverly won the corner.
He's probably the only player in the country quick enough to keep that in there. Good enough to win the corner.
Didier Gap not getting the best of welcomes down in that corner. Alan Thompson comes across to have a look at it as well. Thompson floats it in, and Chris Sutton was on the end of it, and so too was Moravcik, I think, who got in there.
We talked about the final ball of Alan Thompson. It's a terrific corner. Sutton gets half a yard on Paul Fennick here. Took a bit of a deflection, sat up nicely at the back post, but that quality and that pace of delivery really is difficult to defend.
A real darling of the Celtic fans with Emir Moravcik, 36 years of age now. He bounced off the chest of John O'Neill. Certainly a firm challenge as Sutton tried to win it. Sosie seeking out McManus with a long one, and it was not comfortable for Mjällby, although he made it look fairly comfortable. Having said that, Martin O'Neill has taken Celtic into the Champions League for the first time. Sutton grappling with Ulrich Larsson. O'Neill's header. Moravcik calming things down and skipping away from O'Neill. He's got support from Agat, and he's put him in here. Ian Murray's nowhere to be seen, although he's got back and made sure that Agat wasn't going to make much progress.
Well, Agat wanted it into feet, and Moravcik made up his mind for him. And what he's saying here is, just holds it up here, he's saying, go on, down the outside. Delightfully weighted ball to put Agat in behind there, and his control let him down.
Brewster made contact, so did McManus, and now Grant Brebner. Alan Allman wasn't that far advanced though. It's retrieved by Alan Thompson, who was suspended for the games against Ajax. Got a red card playing for Aston Villa in the Intertoto Cup last year. Just look at him go. He fancies it against his former club. He's got it back from Lambert. Agat delivers, and Frank Sosie taking no chances.
He does so well at that front post, Frank Sosie. Anytime Hibs get caught in the wide positions, he's the man who closes down the front post. Did it so often at Ibrox last weekend.
Lennon. Moravcik. Matthias Jack was quickly in. Neatly done by Orman. Here's Brebner. Bit too much on that though. For Tom McManus's liking. Mialby. It's going to be some battle. Chris Sutton against Ulrich Larsson. Murray gets it back. Brewster loses out to Mialby. Lambert comes crashing in. Free kick's actually been given in his favour.
Yeah, he didn't jump here, Craig Brewster. Just stays planted. It's really a case of obstruction as much as anything else on Paul Lambert.
Tom Boyd seeking out Henrik Larsson. Brebner, McManus. Larsson though, winning it back for Celtic. Now the other Larsson, Ulrich. Cannoned off Moravcik, but Matthias Jack. And that's going to be a free kick, fouled by Henrik Larsson. Here's Frank the Frenchman. And the foul by Brewster on Lambert brings Celtic another free kick. They won 3 of their 5 meetings with Hibs last season. The other 2 ended all square. Chris Sutton's got a free kick and foul by Fenwick. Thompson straight to Sosie. McManus giving Mialby plenty to think about, but the Swedish international really has been one of Celtic's best players during the O'Neill reign. Mind you, been a few contenders for that title. Ian Murray gets it back. Help is available from John O'Neill. Jack. Fenwick, the birthday boy, 32 today. Brewster looking to get in. Tom Boyd was there too. Goal kick the outcome.
It's a good ball in. Tom Boyd just caught in his heels here for a moment. Craig Brewster appreciated the quality of the diagonal in for him. You see he's got his hand up, he wants this. Tom Boyd just caught underneath it slightly. Brewster couldn't quite get any power on it.
Larsson certainly made that. Here's a wonderful leap. And John O'Neill upends Didier Gat.
Yeah, I think Hibs realised that they can't really afford to let this lad turn and run at them. John O'Neill in among it as usual early on.
Boyd's free kick, Sutton rising, and the free kick is going to go to Sutton, to Celtic. Fenwick's foul.
Well, it's a needless one to give away, because Paul Fenwick's well positioned here as it comes in. And the Clark might want to word about the descent after the award was given. Sutton backing in, as he does so well.
No quick free kick for Celtic. There's been a couple of those in England, of course, this week. Henrik Larsson sizing this one up. Lubomir Moravcik also there. Kenny Clark making sure the wall has gone back. Chris Sutton is actually in that wall, much to Hibs' dismay. Sutton getting pushed all over the place by Fenwick, and Kenny Clark has to rush in and sort it out again. John O'Neill is unimpressed by Sutton's presence now, and both of them are going to be summoned to the referee. In fact, Fenwick is also called over. We'll get this free kick taken soon. Kenny Clark has had enough of Sutton and Fenwick. What are Celtic going to come up with here? It's Henrik Larsson! Ooh, just wide, but what a close call.
It couldn't have been far away. Got the ball up quickly, got the top spin on it to bring it back down. And how close was it? Well, half a yard. Terrific effort by Larsson.
I think Nick Colgan was mightily relieved to see that one flash past the post. McManus. But it's going to come to Tom Boyd. Away by Sosie. On by Jack. Here's Brewster. Now Matthias Jack again. Free kick's been given. Mjällby left a leg trailing.
Yeah, fully committed here, Johan Mjällby. Not much doubt that he caught Matthias Jack late there.
Ian Murray. Jack. O'Neill nicely on to Murray. Now, can he deliver? He can, and Brewster nearly got in.
Yeah, I don't think Johan Mjällby sees Brewster coming here. He peeled off Craig Brewster. Now he comes front post on the blind side of Mjällby. Once again, he just couldn't get the connection right.
Brewster yet to open his Hibs account, but he got some goals during his time in Greece, over 50 in 5 seasons. Moravcik goes for goal! Oh! Stunning! Sensational! Magnificent from Moravcik! Pick that one out!
Well, that's world class, Ian. The only two words to describe it. And we've seen this kind of technique from this lad so often during his short time in Scotland, and that is up there with anything he's produced. To get that power, hardly any backlift at all. And look, the ball is hardly spinning. He's struck it so sweetly, there's hardly any spin on it. And I'll bet you Martin O'Neill can't even believe that. What a strike.
And what a little marvel. Lubomir Moravcik. Chris Sutton's trying to get in here, and he could be in, he is in, and Celtic have scored twice in a minute. It was always going to be a tough test, this, for the champions, but they are 2 up.
I think Hibs have just lost their concentration after the goal in. Ulrik Larsson puts Frank Sosie in bother. Sutton gets his reward for pursuing it. Nothing that Nick Colgan could do, but it was Sutton's willingness to put Sosie under pressure that set the chance up. And he did make a pretty good job of it as well.
Chris Sutton with his second of the season, and Hibs absolutely shell-shocked as Celtic storm into a 2-0 lead. Foul by Tebele on Brewster will bring Hibs a free kick, but they will be looking for a quick response now. Free kick is taken quickly, and Grant Bremner hits it, but that one was always veering wide.
Hibs must be shell-shocked. Alec McLeish, I'll bet, just can't believe that his side is 2-0 down. But even he would have to applaud the technique of Lubomir Moravcik for the first goal. He'd be less than happy with the second, right enough.
Well, would you believe there were just 44 seconds between the two Celtic goals? 44 seconds. Martin O'Neill's men in control. And Agat and Murray. Tangle. Free kick to Hibs. Well, last week at Ibrox was a real test of Hibs' character. They came through that, but they now have a mighty job on their hands against the other half of the Old Firm. Tom Boyd's kick goes straight up in the air, though. Robert Douglas will rescue the situation. Larsson. Celtic were played off the park by Ajax midweek, and it appears to have rankled them a little bit. Now taking it out on Hibs. A goal of breathtaking quality from Lubomir Moravcik, and then a striker's goal from Chris Sutton. And here he is. Agat. Paul Lambert. Such an influence on this Celtic side. Moravcik, and Sutton is in again, and he's onside. It could be three, and it is, you know. Celtic incredibly go 3-0 up at Easter Road, and it's a second for Sutton.
Oh, what a well-worked goal. Terrific chest layoff from Henrik Larsson in the first place. Ball played up to Larsson, takes the pace out of it on his chest for Lubomir Moravcik. Well, Hibs maybe looking for an offside there, but I think he's level. And once again, it's a terrific finish. Once Chris Sutton gets him in and goal, gets himself in and goal, I should say. Once again, he finds the inside of the post. And Hibs have a mountain to climb.
Well, good night, everyone. We're going home now. Hibs 0, Celtic 3. A long way back for Hibernian Alex McLeish. And when you consider how well they performed at Ibrox last week, you wonder what's going through his mind at the moment. They have been ripped apart by rampant Celtic. Tebeli won't keep that one out. It'll be a corner. Well, Hibs need to get something back here. That's a bit of an understatement. 3-0 down, 20 minutes on the clock. Here's Alan Orman. They need another screamer from him, and he's looking to oblige, but nothing of the sort, really.
Appeals for offside when this ball is struck by Lubomir Moravcik. You see Henrik Larsson half a yard, but that it can't possibly be an active play there.
Well, the flag went up, but Larsson hardly involved. Nobody was involved but Lubomir Moravcik with that one. A stunning strike. And since that wonder goal from Moravcik, Chris Sutton has come up with a couple. Larsson up towards Brewster, and McManus goes to ground. Here's Agat. Well, this is beyond Celtic's wildest dreams. This is always going to be, we thought, one of their toughest fixtures.
I think Martin O'Neill suspected that as well, and he was saying to us yesterday at the press conference that he feared there might be a bit of tiredness after the Ajax game.
Paul Fennick not having much of a birthday, that's for sure, and that one's going to carry through to Robert Douglas.
Dead level in attempts at goal, but that'll be of no consolation to Alex McLeish.
3 goals for Celtic in the opening quarter of the game. Sutton is on a hat-trick, but he has got the free kick again. Ulrich Larsson leading down on him.
Well, look, a real problem Hibs defending against this fella, because he's so strong, he backs in so well. And once again, it's Larsson leading with the left hand, left arm there. And again, this is in range, particularly you would imagine for Alan Thompson.
Well, Larsson took it quickly to Didier Agat. He delivers, and Neil Lennon is the man on the end of it. And Colgan and Sosie a bit confused by it all, and Paul Fennick bailed them out in the end.
Well, Nick Colgan and Sosie having it out at the moment, and Colgan is saying that definitely give him a shout here. Colgan decides to come. Well, Frank shows he certainly didn't hear it.
Marabchik and Thompson combine from the corner. I thought he was going to get in then, and you wouldn't be surprised if he did. The magician, Marabchik. Marabchik floats it straight in this time, and Didier Gat on the volley, and I think it was blocked by Ulrich Larsson. Celtic hungry for more, as if 3 isn't enough. Here is Marabchik, and the flag is up against Henrik Larsson. The flag was also up against him for that first goal, but he was hardly interfering with play. Well, there's more pulsating Premiership action tomorrow. The pay-per-view game sees Peter Schmeichel take on Manchester United. More information on 08705 160 160. And its normal service later on. The big North East derby, Newcastle-Sunderland, is on Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports Extra. I was fortunate enough to see that one last season. Magnificent occasion, unmissable. Alan Orman didn't keep it in.
Haven't really managed to get him into the game at all, Ian. And it does get very frustrating if you're playing out on the line and you're not getting any service at all.
Dropping a note to the Samaritans, I think, at the moment. Alex McLeish, so proud of the way his team performed, and rightly so, at Rangers last week. But with respect to Rangers, Celtic was always going to be a sterner examination of their credentials. Brewster helps it on to Brebner. Hibs looking to hit back. Brebner, though, forced out wide by Lennon and Boyd. Hibs really don't know what's hit them. But what's hit them was a magnificent Marabchik goal and 2 from Sutton. Brewster flicked that on, though, and Johan Mjällby hoisted it away. Free kick is going to be given to Hibs, so no break for Celtic. And Thompson the offender. Here's Sosie, on by John O'Neill. Fenwick putting himself about, O'Neill there too, but with Mjällby and Boyd around, there wasn't much change for John O'Neill. Didier Gat will settle for the throw on his return to Easter Road. Had an amazing start to last season with Hibs. 4 goals in his first 6 games, and Celtic snapped him up for a bargain 50,000. Lennon. Marabchik. That one will carry through to Colgan. Away by Mjällby. O'Neill. Sosie. Chris Sutton came back, but Sosie still got it through to McManus, and it was a fine challenge from Tebele.
I had a chance to hit it, though, Ian. Delightfully weighted ball by Sosie to play him in. Could have hit it, wanted too much time, and Tebele managed to get round the back. That's a chance.
It's a nasty one for Matthias Jack.
Yeah, just caught late there by Henrik Larsson. Yeah, you can see this just been caught by Henrik Larsson's studs on the top of his right foot, I think it was. And if he's down, it must be so.
And linesman, by the way, Brian McDuffie, is getting plenty of stick from the Hibs fans because he put his flag up for the first goal, but there's no way that Larsson was involved at all.
I'll tell you what, if we start disallowing goals like that, Ian, we can all chuck this game.
Absolutely. The Hibs fans venting their fury. In fact, they don't quite know who to vent their fury on. Didier Gat running down the touchline there, or the linesman. They're spoiled for choice at the moment. Larsson. Well, Hibs have already conceded 9 goals this season, and last season they had the second best defensive record behind Celtic. Larsson's free kick, and Brewster arriving, but no joy once again for him or for Hibs.
Oh, he did well. He's 2 against 1 here. He's up against Mialbi and Tevely as the ball comes in. Once again, he can't find the target.
Looking for his first Hibs goal, and now would be a good time. Sutton flicked it on to Larsson. Here's Lambert. Lambert doing a Didier Gat, but he's stopped in his tracks by Ian Murray. And the Gat will settle for the corner against his former club. Almost half an hour played, and the champion Celtic 3-0 up at Easter Road. Thompson delivers right into the heart of it, and Henrik Larsson, and Celtic have another. It's 4-0, and this is the stuff that champions are made of.
That's another superb delivery from Thompson. Henrik Larsson, I think it's a yard on Ian Murray. Up well directed header. And there's so much pace in the corner that he doesn't really have to worry about power here, Henrik Larsson. He's only redirected it. And even with, I think it was John O'Neill on the line, Hibs couldn't keep it out.
Fourth of the season for Henrik Larsson, only 49 more to go, and Fennick a little uncomfortable there, but he does get it back to Corgan. Celtic have a fourth. Their first 3 goals, by the way, came in just under 4 minutes. Now the Manis has been taken out by Boyd.
Booking, I would think. It's just too quick for Tom Boyd here, young McManus. Caught him well late.
And spot on, he is getting a yellow. Tom Boyd then is the first man to be booked, but everything else has gone very much Celtic's way. Sensational scoreline, really. Alan Orman standing over the free kick. Shell shock Hibs looking to get one back. Sozy. Well, it was taken too quickly anyway for Kenny Clark's liking. And I don't think Hibs will be too troubled by the fact that they have to take it again. And this time it's going to go straight in the box. Orman delivers, and Robert Douglas, who is starting to win over the Celtic fans, collects comfortably, and for a moment I thought his throw was going to put Marabchik in. Well, some Hibs fans are leaving already. 32 minutes played. Loyal bunch. Larsson. Brewster. It doesn't clear Robert Douglas though.
Had he left it, young McManus was behind him. Would have been in and goal. Don't know whether he gets a shout here, but if you see young Tom McManus, if Brewster's underneath that, it would have fallen nicely for him.
Celtic have swept Hibs aside. Sitting pretty, very pretty on a 4-0 lead. Just over half an hour played. Thompson. Tebele and and Lennon is onside, but it's just going to be Colgan's ball.
Now once again Hibs caught square at the back. Nick Colgan reckons that he was off. I think we'll see that Neil Lennon was well on when it was played. Yeah, he's at least a couple of yards onside.
Lennon to Sutton, Moravcik. Alan Orman steps in ahead of Thompson, but then stumbles, and Thompson has it back. Thompson and Colgan. It's actually, it's going to be a corner. Nothing's going right for Hibs tonight. Celtic's 4 goals coming in an amazing 15-minute blitz on Nick Colgan's goal. And they don't look like they've finished yet. Moravcik, but that will be an easy catch for Colgan, much to his considerable relief.
Well, remarkably, Hibs having the better of the action areas, but I don't think Martin O'Neill would swap Alec for that.
Well, he can do absolutely no wrong, it seems, Martin O'Neill. Brewster. O'Neill. Away by Tebeli, who's born again, really, as far as his Celtic career is concerned. Neil Lennon. Henrik Larsson. Larsson not giving up yet. And riding the challenge of Matthias Jack, but he is going to get a free kick anyway. 10 minutes of the first half remaining, and what a scoreline. Hibs 0, Celtic 4. Celtic in the mood for more. Thompson sends it in, away by Fenwick. McManus. Now Brewster. Here's John O'Neill, but Paul Lambert slid in. Larsson sends it across to Alan Orman. Orman's cross is going to be easy for Robert Douglas. Mjolby. Sutton, battered into by Philip, but he's actually being penalised himself, so it's the other way around. Brewster ran into Lennon. Boyd. Looking for Jack. It's going to carry though, or in fact he has to marshal it out. Hibs totally stunned, but trying now to give it a go. Oh, stumbled by John O'Neill, and Moravcik takes over from Lennon. And Celtic have plenty of bodies available here. One of them is, of course, Didier Agathe. Sozy is able to clear, although not very far. Moravcik. Sutton came in, had a bit of a wild kick. Sozy to McManus, but it'll drift away. Well, Alex McLeish today named 3 strikers on the bench in Francisco Luna and Alan Smart and David Titelli. Probably just as well, considering they are 4-0 down. The flag goes up to ironic cheers from the Hibs fans. Moravcik, who's been used sparingly this season, but it is his second start. He began against Hearts as well. Larsson. is on his way again. Hibs being run ragged. Moravcik. Agat. Larsson's going to boot that away. Celtic held to a goalless draw by Livingston last week, but certainly taking it out on Hibs this week. They failed to score midweek as well against Ajax. No problems on the scoring front in Edinburgh tonight. O'Neill. Lambert to Moravcik. Every pass being applauded by the Celtic fans, who are having some night in Scotland's capital. We were all expecting a close contest, but it's been nothing of the sort.
Well, it's all the more remarkable if you consider they're a European time midweekend, which at times does leave you tired. The Hibs would have felt this game was coming at the right time for them.
O'Neill, he's done well to pick out Brewster. But Tom Boyd muscles in for Celtic, and now Moravcik has it. Thompson. Lennon let it run, and so did Larsson. Sutton to Lambert. Celtic in their stride again. How about that for a pass? Brilliant from Lambert to Agat. Sutton was coming in looking for a hat-trick, but it was hooked behind by Paul Bennett for a corner.
The build-up is football at its very best. He must have been 10, 11 passes here. A couple of dummies by Lennon and Larsson. Delightful ball to get Agat free. Larsson at the front post, just too much pace in the ball in.
Alan Thompson and Sutton trying to do something with that. Here's Agat. Paul Lambert, whose precise pass set up that last Celtic attack. Lennon for Larsson. Now Moravcik takes over. He's bumped out of the way by Jack. Grant Brebner, former Manchester United youngster. But here's the cool-headed Tom Boyd. Celtic did win 5-2 when they last came here in the league, although Hibs actually had a heck of a lot of chances in that game. And I'm sure Celtic fans watching in bars up and down the country and all around the world are cheering like crazy at the moment, because they are coming through this apparent test with flying colours at the moment. Sutton, 2 goals for him. Never scored a hat-trick for Celtic. Maybe today is the day. Larsson flicked it on, booted away by Jack and knocked on by Murray. First half for Hibs, but a memorable one for Celtic. There's actually going to be no added on time in the first half, and Hibs might be rather relieved at that, so they can get into their dressing room and sort a few things out. Agat. Now by Larsson on Sutton.
Once again, it's a great example of the body strength of Chris Sutton here. Terrific at backing in, shielding the ball.
Well, it's a long way out, but Alan Thompson might fancy it. He can hit them, or maybe he's going to float it in. Neither did either, really, and Johan Mjelde probably scoops it over the bar.
Well, if this falls to Henrik Larsson, it could have been 5. That's a half chance again. Alan Norman just falling asleep there. And you can see that Hibs have more attempts at goal than Celtic, but Celtic have been a bit more accurate.
Offside this time against Henrik Larsson, who collected the European Golden Boot in Monte Carlo on Thursday evening after his 35 goals in the league last season. 53, of course, overall. Inside the last minute of the first half. Thompson. Larsson, what a touch. Marabchik. Now Lennon. And now Sutton. And once again, Celtic are in a menacing mood. And once again, they are spraying the passes around. Didier Agat. Lambert turning away from O'Neill, who tripped him. Paul Lambert back in the Champions League, which he won with Borussia Dortmund. Matthias Jack, by the way, has just got a yellow card, and that's why Kenny Clark has pulled it back. Presumably for something he said. Kenny Clark just taking a note of his name. But it's a yellow for Jack, and he'll have to tread carefully, which would be easier said than done for a player who likes to put himself about. Boyd launches one towards Sutton. Sozi lets it drop. Back to Colgan. It's half-time at Easter Road. Lubomir Marabchik with a wonder goal started the scoring spree. Chris Sutton got a double, and Henrik Larsson also on the score sheet. It's Hibs 0, Celtic 4.